God's blessings to everyone. This is a DGHradio.com news and information news update for the United States and the world, and I'm reporter KKH reporting the news for Sunday, October 12th, 2025, covering the latest developments from across the United States and the world. The White House is pressing ahead with a steep trade policy. The administration says it will impose an additional 100% tariff on Chinese imports starting next month. The move follows Beijing's restrictions on critical minerals, and it's already rattling markets and supply chains that rely on electronics, machinery, and consumer goods flowing between the two economies. Economists warn the cost could pass quickly to U.S. shoppers and manufacturers, even as the administration frames the measure as leverage for a stronger deal. Amid the ongoing federal shutdown, the president has directed the Pentagon to find money so active duty troops don't miss pay. Defense leaders say they can temporarily tap unobligated funds to cover payroll, an extraordinary step that underscores the strain from a stalemated budget fight. It offers near-term relief for military families, but it could delay research, training, and maintenance if the shutdown drags on. Public health operations are also under pressure. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention issued large batches of layoff notices during the shutdown, then hurriedly walked some of them back. The whiplash has sparked bipartisan concern over the nation's preparedness for outbreaks and routine disease surveillance, with advocates urging Congress to reopen the government and stabilize staffing at essential agencies. Overseas, fighting across the Pakistan-Afghanistan frontier flared again. Kabul's authorities claimed heavy Pakistani losses in overnight clashes as Islamabad temporarily closed key crossings, snarling trade and travel. The closure of gateways like Torkham and Shaman raises food and fuel costs on both sides of the border and complicates humanitarian deliveries heading into winter. Tensions are also running hot in the South China Sea. The Philippines says a Chinese Coast Guard vessel rammed and damaged a government boat near a tiny garrison in contested waters. Beijing accuses Manila of provocation. Manila points to international law and a 2016 tribunal ruling as it resupplies its outposts. With Allied patrols increasing, the risk of miscalculation remains a real concern in one of the world's busiest shipping lanes. There is a tentative pause in Gaza. A fragile ceasefire is holding as residents cautiously return to northern areas and aid convoys bring fuel, food, and medical supplies. Mediators are working toward hostage prisoner exchanges while warning that any violation could collapse the truce and halt the humanitarian lifeline. In Australia, tens of thousands marched in major cities calling for lasting peace and accountability in the Israel-Hamas conflict. Organizers emphasized humanitarian access and investigations into alleged violations of international law, while opponents argued the rallies risked undermining delicate negotiations. Police described the demonstrations as largely peaceful. Turning to the war in Ukraine, new reporting indicates the United States has been providing intelligence support that helps Kyiv plan long-range drone strikes on Russian energy facilities. The assistance, aimed at improving accuracy and limiting civilian harm, reflects a deeper, though still indirect, U.S. role as Ukraine seeks leverage ahead of any negotiations. Moscow calls it escalation. Allies frame it as legitimate self-defense support. Back at home in tech and consumer protection, major online marketplaces have removed millions of listings for electronics linked to Chinese manufacturers on U.S. security watch lists. Regulators say the sweep targets surveillance cameras, networking gear, and other devices that either lack authorization or come from companies deemed high risk. For everyday buyers, that may mean fewer ultra-cheap gadgets and a push for clearer disclosures on what's being sold. Across the Atlantic, travel rules are changing. The European Union has started rolling out its new entry-exit system, digitally recording passports, fingerprints, and photos for non-EU travelers entering Schengen countries. The phased launch replaces passport stamping and aims to cut identity fraud and overstays, but travelers should expect longer lines at first as border posts adopt the new tech. In Tennessee, recovery teams have confirmed the deaths of all workers unaccounted for after a devastating explosion at an explosives manufacturing plant. The blast leveled buildings and registered as a small seismic event. Federal and state investigators are examining storage practices and equipment to determine the cause as the community mourns and looks for answers on safety lapses. In entertainment, Hollywood is mourning the loss of Diane Keaton at the age of 79. The Oscar-winning star of Annie Hall, The Godfather films, and Something's Gotta Give became a cultural icon with roles that blended wit, independence, and vulnerability. Colleagues hailed her decades-long influence on cinema, fashion, and creative risk-taking. And an update on a former U.S. president's health, Joseph R. Biden is undergoing a 5-week course of radiation, along with hormone therapy for an aggressive but hormone-sensitive prostate cancer. His team says he remains upbeat as he continues treatment, a development that's also prompting renewed conversations about screening and men's health. Finally, in media business news, Bloomberg reports that Warner Brothers Discovery rejected an initial takeover approach from Paramount Skydance as too low. The contact highlights the intense consolidation pressures across film, TV, and streaming at a time when studios are juggling debt, cord cutting, and shifting ad dollars. These and other issues are of great concern within the islands. What do you think are some good solutions? Let us know your thoughts by texting your comments to 1-315-898-449. You can also join our WhatsApp group and get the news, weather, and other insightful information delivered right to your smartphone. To join, text JOIN to 1-315-898-1449. Please include your name in the text message. You will receive a call to verify your request. I'm your reporter, KKH, signing off for DGHradio.com. Remember, KKH and DGH, together we provide key facts, keen judgment, and honesty as we deliver groundbreaking headlines. Ciao.